Hi, I'm your host, Raleigh Valentine.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Sherwood.
Hi, I'm Phil Baker.
Hi, I'm Luke DiVeneri.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Holcomb.
Hi, I'm Joni Smith.
Hi, I'm Michaela Storrs.
Good afternoon. I'm Raleigh Valentine, your host at California Real Estate Weekly. Today is January 29th, and we have some really exciting interviews for you this week. First, we're going to start with Jennifer Sherwood from Rancho Santa Fe Escrow.
Hi there, Jennifer here from Rancho Santa Fe Escrow. Today I wanted to talk about the three different basic escrow companies. One, independently licensed escrow company, which we at Rancho Santa Fe Escrow are, requires scrutiny from the FBI, background checks, requires bonds, requires a certain amount of experience in order to be a manager, 5 years, requires a minimum amount of money on deck at all times, and requires numerous bonds and insurance. That's one. That's the most scrutiny of all three. Title company escrow companies, they don't require the scrutiny, but title companies are vast and large and have a lot of money. So therefore, they will make sure ordinarily that it's a decent employee and everything's fine. And they also have bonds and what have you for their funds. Broker-owned escrows, not a broker that owns an independent escrow, but their own in-house escrow company. Zero scrutiny, zero experience required, and they don't watch out for any kind of fund control and so forth and so on. There are no requirements for that. And also there's an implied bias. So the other thing is that broker-owned escrow also cannot do outside business. They can only do business that they're personally involved in, either they're representing the buyer or the seller. So therefore, implied bias. Those are the three different kinds of escrow companies, and that's why I opened an independent escrow company so that we have zero affiliation with anyone and no bias. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Crew. Raleigh Valentine here with my favorite title person, Phil Baker. Always helps me. I'm great. You have given me so much help this week already. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Really important. Tell us and our audience exactly what title insurance covers and what it doesn't cover.
Sure. So when you're in the process of purchasing a home, you have a preliminary title report that you're reviewing. Okay, and so this is going to show you everything that is affecting title today. So there's going to be easements, there's going to be restrictions. We look at taxes and loans. So all of those things are on title. And so when we close escrow, you have a title policy. You're going to be protected for a wide range of things. We're basically protecting your interest in the legal description of your property. So every property has their own legal description that's unique to that property. So on the deed, on any deed that you record, you have the legal description. That's what we protect. Okay. So anyone that says, I have an interest in your property, anyone tries to record a deed on your property, those kinds of things that happen sometimes by mistake, sometimes maliciously, we protect your interest. Okay, so anytime somebody's trying to convey interest, we protect your interest.
Well, and so far, we've never had any problems like this. But on the very small chance something goes wrong, what do you do then?
That's a title claim. So we're an insurance company,
Uh-huh.
and so we act like insurance company. We have insurance claims. So you would file a claim with us, give us the information that's happening, whether it's there's an erroneous deed that showed up on title, or my neighbor's claiming that he owns half of my backyard, or someone records a deed maliciously. Any of those things, you come right back to us and say, "Hey, this happened," and help. So
Thank
that's
you.
what we do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope this gives you a great deal of comfort knowing that First American is not only one of the biggest and most reputable companies in the United States, that Phil is uh, beyond reproach. He helps with everything all the time. And we will also have a continuing conversation with him next week to find out a few more things that I think you will also find interesting. Thank you so much.
And now we're going to head over to Luke. He had a really wonderful weekend with his buyers. They went out and saw about 10 properties. They've narrowed it down to 4, and now they're looking at fine-tuning their budget down to the closing costs, and Luke's going to share all that information with you today.
Hi, my name is Luke DiVeneri. I'm with EQ International. Welcome back. I had a great weekend with Ethan and Elijah touring homes. We toured 10 homes and ended with 4 final contesters. So today we'll be talking about closing costs. There's a lot more to buying a home than just the price tag, so here's a few additional expenses to keep in mind. First is closing costs, typically 2 to 5% of the home's purchase price. These include lender fees, title insurance, and more. Second is HOA fees. So if the home is in a community with shared amenities, you'll need to budget for monthly homeowners association fees. And then third and lastly, Mello-Roos. In certain areas, the additional property tax helps fund infrastructure. Once you've found the one, it's time to write an offer, and here's some tips. Stay within your budget. Resist the urge to overextend even in a competitive market. Include contingencies. So for first-time homebuyers, contingencies can protect you during the process. An example, that's financing or inspection. Lastly, work with a professional. Your real estate agent will guide you through the process of negotiation to give you a strong competitive offer. Navigating the home buying process is much easier with an experienced real estate agent by your side. From evaluating properties to helping you decode closing costs, I will ensure every step of the process.
Thank you, Luke. It just sounds like you guys had like the best time ever, and you're doing a great job. We're going to head over to Cheryl now. Cheryl is an associate broker at EQ International. She's exceptional at what she does, and she's really so tuned into the fine details of things, and she's really wanting to help her buyers and her sellers know all the ways that they can purchase property, save money, and look at things from maybe a little bit different standpoint. And this week she's going to talk about a tax savings that I didn't even know about, so I'm anxious to share it with you.
I want to make sure everyone is saving money on their property tax by taking advantage of the California homeowners exemption. As long as your home is considered your primary residence, you can reduce the taxable value of your home by $7,000. That translates to a lower property tax bill every year. To receive this exemption, you simply have to submit a form to the county assessor found on the county assessor's website, and you only have to complete it once. As long as your home remains your primary residence, it stays in effect. If you're not sure if you're currently getting the exemption, check your tax bill. Look in the upper right-hand corner under exemptions for homeowners, $7,000. This information is not intended as financial advice. Always seek a financial advisor before you make any financial decisions. But get in touch, and I'll show you how you can get the homeowners exemption, and you can pay a slightly lower property tax bill every year.
So happy to have Joni here in studio with us. You are impossible to find. You're always here, there, and everywhere. You manage to do it all. I know that you're always searching for the finest, the best things, the newest things, so that everybody has the design, like you spoke about, that is them, but also in keeping with what's going on today. So tell us what your new favorite things are.
Well, I think that we talked about it a little bit before. Maximalism is kind of coming back as opposed to the very stark, non-comfy type of spaces. We're seeing a lot more texture and color. And I think that it's going to be eventually tied in really well with the modern aspect too. I think that some of the things that we're seeing with like the overabundance of florals and things like that might not sit too well, but the basic ideas of it, of being able to display your family photos and put pieces that mean something to you on a shelf with a lot of other things, is going to be the trend, and not so much keeping everything
Oh,
naked.
that makes me so happy because I have certain family pictures and things from my grandmother and all of that. And sometimes I get insecure and I'm like, well, I want this to say this is my family, but then people don't have back tables with 100 pictures on them anymore. So I'm not exactly sure how many to put out, how many not to put out, but you're saying it's okay.
It's okay, and you have to do it correctly, in my view, correctly. And it doesn't mean taking a table and just filling it with things. We like to think of it as clumping. Basically, you put like books with a picture on top and
Okay.
an object next to it, leave space on a shelf or a table so that it's not being completely covered, but and balancing things too, so that you're not getting too dark in one area, too light in another area. But yeah, put your things out.
Well, I
Definitely
love
tell your
that
story.
because the houses that she stages, like everything is just balanced perfectly the way you and Katie put things.
Katie does
And
nice.
well, Katie's very good at this.
She is
And
really
we're going to get to talk to her next, which I'm super excited about. But I just am, I think seeing so many beautiful homes as a luxury agent, and especially the amazing equestrian properties I see, I get a little intimidated about telling people to take things away, put things here, put things there. But then once you come in and you and Katie do your magic, it just kind of all comes together perfectly.
and we love doing that. We have different sets of talent and we work off of each other. Hers is just the overall design. Mine, I just can tell when something's not quite right. And we judge things a little bit and it comes out usually really well.
Well, I love everything you do, and I also love hanging out with you. She's amazing in what she does, and you also happen to be a whole lot of fun. So thank you so
Aw,
much.
thanks.
All right. Well, next week we'll be talking to Katie, and she really, with the CAD drawings and getting everything like just dialed in perfectly. And then we have our creative genius over here. Everything always works out so nicely. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, one of my favorite parts of California Real Estate Weekly, the chance to talk to Michaela Stores, our West Coast equestrian anchor. And this week, I'm going to ask her some questions about the importance of getting your children into riding and how you're able to do that. And at the end, she'll let you know that you can reach out to her with any questions you may have. I was having a conversation with somebody from Goldman Sachs today that they said not only in colleges um, and when you're going to interview for jobs, that they really like academic athletes because it teaches you communication, teamwork, how to work as a team, how to help as a team, who's a natural leader, who's a natural get it done person. And horses teach you so much responsibility from such a young age, no matter what age you start. How did you get started riding?
I got started riding just as soon as I could talk. I started asking about horses, and my parents had no idea anything about it, and I was adamant about doing it. And then as soon as I took a lesson, I was hooked. And I really think that it teaches you so much responsibility because no matter if you're using your own equipment or somebody else's equipment, you have to take care of it. You have to take care of your horse. It's another living animal that you're working with, and you guys don't speak the same language. So it teaches you a lot of really hard work and dedication.
I completely agree. Being an athlete my whole life, it's the hardest sport that I continue to try and master because you're living with a live animal and you need to develop that relationship, and it's so symbiotic. It's not like a pair of skis or a tennis racket or a golf club that just pretty much does what you tell it to do and doesn't care if there's a dog barking or maybe somebody having a car backfiring that scares your golf club. That doesn't happen. So, really, learning to communicate with a horse, which is one of the most beautiful relationships I've ever had. Just once you get hooked, you're hooked.
Yep. You'll be doing it for the rest of your life. And it's also very therapeutic, I think. So that's another reason why I always recommend getting kids into it. It's a really special way to, get through those feelings. And, being a teenager is awkward. I think it's important to have those outlets in life. And I think horses are really good for that as well.
Well, you're so smart about that. And I know that you just about have your judge's card, so you definitely know what you're talking about. So, any questions you may have about wanting to get your children or yourself involved in riding, please reach out to Michaela at
Kayla at eqinternational.com. And I'm happy to help and get you connected to the right people.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. And this is Robbie Valentine signing out for this week's episode of California Real Estate Weekly. Next episode, we're going to have some really exciting things to show you. We have a new farm, we have a new ranch, we have a new house, and we have some new anchors that we will introduce you to. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week.